Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another Community Connections. Super excited to have my friend Darrell Watson. He is the owner of State Farm out in Grayson. Also been a long-term pastor, currently interim pastor at I think Tucker First Baptist in Tucker, Georgia. So Darrell, my friend, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate your letting me be on.
I tell you, my pleasure. Darrell and I have been trying to get together, and it's all this craziness has had it. We're getting to meet quote unquote face to face via Zoom. But Darrell, your background, because I want people to know what you're doing these days. But obviously you got a doctorate in divinity, as you and I talked about that. I'm working on mine. And, I'm trying to will myself to the end of my leadership stuff, but the uniqueness, you're working as an interim pastor at a church, you're seeing that view, and you're a business owner and you see the world we live in. So share some of the things you see going on that would be helpful to all the people tuning in that are really bored out of their mind and going, is this ever going to end? I mean, what insights do you have?
Well, the first thing, uh, being now a small business owner, I have a much greater appreciation for what lay people have gone through. Pastors, myself, for 28 years, made a lot of demands on parishioners. And I have a much better appreciation for the sacrifice they make on behalf of the church. So I appreciate all the lay people out there, because without the lay people, churches just couldn't function. I do think that the key word right now, from my perspective, is hope. And we go through struggles and challenges, but hope is what picks us up and carries us. And I think hope is what churches need. I think hope is what businesses need. And that is certainly my prayer on this Good Friday, is that the people listening to this can find hope.
Yes. I mean, that's so well said, because I was interviewing a pastor who does a lot of stuff in the community. And I guess until you've been in both situations, everybody can look at things from their own point of view. And so I'm seeing amazing things, people reaching out and donating food to the co-ops and to the man helping man. And, like you said, hope and the faith, some of these divides we've seen for so many years really are ridiculous when we're dealing with unprecedented things, meaning that we need to make sure we're fed and we're taking care of each other. And I talk to other people, the church is us. Church isn't just a building. But going back to business owners, people forget, if they haven't been in that boat, that it's tough when you can't make a prediction because there's so many unknowns. And it takes all of us, arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, to go forward and to have hope, to say, hey, we're going to get through this, but it's going to take all of us working together. And I appreciate, we're recording this on Good Friday and it may air after Easter, but that doesn't change the fact this is the ultimate, for many, the ultimate, for me and you, for sure, ultimate weekend of hope. We'll see by when this airs, because everything on this earth, I want to throw it back to you, but everything on this earth is temporary, no matter if you live to 97 years old and you're perfectly healthy. So during this time, I'm challenging people, what are you learning during this time? I mean, do you have thoughts you'd encourage people to say, hopefully you come out of here learning something?
I think that I know at First Baptist Church Tucker, to be able to reach out and communicate via Zoom or Facebook Live. So we know how important socialization is, and that we need each other. Unfortunately, I have some, in fact, I spoke with a parishioner yesterday who doesn't have access to the Facebook, but they needed to just have a conversation with their pastor. So we had a great telephone conversation yesterday. And I think that my agency in Grayson, we do a lot of person-to-person communication. So it's been difficult to shift to know that we care about people, we want to help people, but we're not able to communicate with them person to person or, face to face. So I think the thing that I'm learning is how important socialization is, how important person to person contact is. And I would definitely look forward to hitting corporate worship and going around and being able to hug everybody and just express and feel the love that's done at a distance right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it was funny. I was telling my wife, Darrell, I said, I've been doing some of these interviews, and then I didn't know, honestly, I didn't know anything about Zoom. I've used a lot of video conferencing over the years, but had never used Zoom. And so I started using it. One thing led to another, from Facebook Live to this and that. I said, I guess I feel like I'm with people as much as I can, but I could give you a virtual fist bump or whatever, but it's still not the same, and
it's not the same, right?
It's not the same. And I think what's going to happen is our economy, our businesses, our communities, you and I happen to be in the Atlanta area, but there's people listening to this all over. It's hitting from top down. These are communities up, right? So it's the churches in Tucker, the Grayson businesses, the Gwinnett businesses, Metro Atlanta. People, I think, are going to come out with a vengeance to want to be social again and have relationships. And I caught up with some old fraternity brothers of mine from Mercer last night, and I came up with the idea, like, well, maybe some of these guys we hadn't even talked in years. We did a little Zoom session, and to a person, Darrell, everyone said that was fantastic. Can we do it again next week? Yeah. And I told my wife, I call this the Great Reset. I think if we learn from this, we realize just how important relationships are and how God created us to be interconnected human beings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The grace of God, I think, is shared with others, or God uses human beings as his conduit of grace. And, we just need to love each other and support each other. And we're doing the best we can do right now. And I think that when we are able to get back to whatever a new normal looks like, we will be much, much more appreciative of that personal interaction that we can have with each other.
Yeah, it's right. It's especially sweeter. Yeah, especially as Americans too. When you're, I love sports. When all the little things have been taken bit by bit, it's like, so it really allows you to kind of go, all right. So I'm sitting on my deck with my wife at night, and we're hearing the birds, and where the birds chirp, and it's. I encourage everybody to know we are going to get to the other side of this. God's in control. We got to do our part. But putting your business cap on, with Darrell Watson, State Farm Insurance, I want to talk about what you can, reach out to people and reach out to you. But we've got to support those small businesses, and meaning that everybody, what I'm seeing so far, Darrell, it's almost brings you to tears when you watch, like, every business is going beyond their comfort zone to support another business, because it really, if everybody doesn't do that, it all collapses. You know what I mean? We can't do it forever, but assuming here in the next month or so we get back to start opening things up, we're all going to appreciate each other more and open things more. But you've been doing great columns and my magazines, which our readers love. We've seen feedback on. But tell them a little bit, if they want to reach out to you. You can't, I guess, meet with them right now. Be hard to talk 6 feet away anyway. But how can they reach out to you, and what kind of things would you think most important, so people know, no matter where they're located, they can reach out to you?
Well, fortunately, insurance companies are doing their best to assist their customers. And State Farm has just reported that we are going to give $2 billion in credits to our customers. Basically, we're putting, it says in the good book, faith without works is dead, right? So some of the good works that State Farm is doing is we're going to look at your automobile rates from March the 20th through May the 31st. And we are going to prorate a discount back to our customers. And it looks like that what that's going to be is about $20 per car. So in my household, we have 3 cars. So $60 is going to be helpful when it comes to managing the downturn in our economy right now. I would encourage, especially State Farm customers, to speak directly with their agent, and they can save money in several different ways. They can save money, first of all, by signing up for something called Drive Safe and Save. It is a discount where we send people a little beacon. The beacon links up with your cell phone. You get a 5% immediate discount and a potential up to 30% discount. We monitor how much people drive, how fast they drive, how they take corners, and that kind of stuff. But I know for my wife and me personally, we signed up for Drive Safe and Save, and over the last 6 months, we saved about $420 on our automobile premiums, which is a significant amount of money. You can also do something called a defensive driving course. You can do it online. And if you don't have any at-fault accidents or any tickets in the last 3 years, you're eligible for this 10% discount. And it will remain on, or you'll continue to get the 10% discount for 3 years as long as you remain at-fault accident and ticket-free.
Wow.
So you can take some steps right now to lower your premium cost, which will certainly assist you in addition to what State Farm is doing. One other thing that State Farm is doing, let's say you work in a restaurant, and I've got clients that work in restaurants, and I mean, no one's been hurt worse than restaurants. So one of the things that we can do is we can basically delay your premium for the month of April. And we can spread that premium out over May, June, and July so that during this month of April, you have some relief because you just don't have that income coming in. So those are some, works that are proving that State Farm cares about our customers.
Well, Darrell, first of all, I didn't know any of those things, and that even some of the things you're talking about are very important. And with articles you've written and the vast amount of knowledge you have, and then obviously the faith and character component of you, I want to make sure our viewers and listeners will probably get this posted early, right after Easter, early next week. But what is the website or email or phone number? What is the best way they can call to talk to you or get your insights? Because you probably said some things that have said, hey, I want to be a part of that, but how do we get to this guy, Darrell? And I'm like, don't want to forget to say that.
Well, probably the best way is to just call my office at 770-910-3399. And even if you're not a customer of mine, and State Farm does not recruit customers from other agents, we encourage people to speak directly to an agent. But if you wanted to just call and speak to me at my office, speak to myself or one of my team members, we'll do anything we can possibly do to help lower people's premiums. But we also want to make sure they have the right coverages at the best price.
That's awesome. And I love the fact of like you were saying before, whether it's a pastor or as a business owner, we can pick up the phone, and I've tried to reset my own brain. I'm the guy saying use the personal touch, and I keep sending emails and text and a lot. So I encourage all our listeners to make sure if you have questions, insights, want to hear more. Darrell is obviously, as you know, from being a pastor, being a business owner, State Farm out in Grayson, Darrell Watson. He gave you his phone number, but I'm sure you can put that into Google too if you want. Darrell Watson, State Farm, and
Absolutely.
and I can just highly recommend. He's got the the ethics and the moral compass and the leadership to help guide you in the right way for what's best for you, not just what's going to put a buck in his pocket. You can tell listening. I mean, that's exactly the kind of people I've been bringing on these shows. So with that said, Darrell, I sure appreciate you. You did great today. I sure appreciate you taking time to come on the Community Connection Show.
Thanks, Ryan. And again, God be with all of your listeners. And if I can help, don't hesitate to give me a call.
You got it, man. Good to see you, my friend. I look forward to when we can do the virtual hug or handshake. Looking forward to that, my friend.
Sounds great.
All right, brother. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.